93.3 KZOZ-FM San Luis Obispo. The home of Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
They have no chemistry at all.
It is Dumbass of the Day now, brought to you by Peterson's U-Cart, getting you ready for spring, getting you ready for summer. I mean, we're in spring now, right? So you could be behind the game, behind the eight balls, they say. You need to go get all your products for your yard, for your landscaping. Maybe you got some new projects or some new ideas this season.
Over there the other day, they still have lots of stuff.
Walk-on bar, gravel, they got soil.
California gold rock.
They got rocks. You don't have to steal them from the side of the road.
Yeah.
You can just go to Peterson's
You
U-Cart.
look a lot better than stealing them from the side of the road, too.
And there's no snakes underneath their rocks. Yeah. Check them out. They're on Gusta Road in A-Town. It's Peterson's U-Cart. Online, Peterson, letter U, cart.com.
Hey, let's do Dumbass of the Day.
Whack, 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 whack.
There's a website you can go to that tells you where all the serious sex offenders live. So I check out my new neighborhood. Turns out it's crawling with sickos. Crawling might be a bit of an exaggeration. There's two. Me and this other guy. But he's crazy. I mean, he's such a weirdo. Like, I'm peeking through his window. He's eating cotton candy. Cotton candy. That is not an at-home food. Weirdo.
Dumbass of the Day.
93.3 KZOZ.
I'm glad you brought that up. Things you loved as a kid that you really can't stand anymore. Cotton candy would be
cotton candy.
Right at the top. But we'll get to that in a minute.
My kids are so bummed that they can't get something where they go to a place where they have cotton candy, like an amusement park or a fair or something along those lines, carnival. My daughter brought it up out of the blue the other day. She's like, but they got cotton candy at the store. And I'm like, what do you mean they got cotton candy at the store? She goes, it's in a tub. I was like, yeah, but that's not the real cotton candy.
No, you got to get it out of the machine.
Like how gross does that concept sound? Of just eating cotton candy out of a tub or a shrink wrap package.
Yeah, it's gross.
That's no fun. Like, as it is, when I take it home from the fair, I'm not thrilled with the consistency that it takes.
When they put it in the bag.
It needs to be light and fluffy if I'm going to eat the cotton candy.
And it's got to still be warm because it comes out of that machine.
Yes, not this old stale cotton candy. I do eat Peeps stale. I do not eat cotton candy
There's
stale.
a place in town.
I want it fresh or I send it back.
Haut Sugar, H-A-U-T. And they did cotton candy, and they paired them with drinks, and they put cotton candy on top of drinks and do whiskey cotton candy flavors and all this weird stuff, and it's very adult. I still couldn't. No, I'm over it. But anyway.
Why are you over it? Was it not warm?
I don't like cotton. I don't get it.
Cotton candy's great.
It melts in your mouth. It's
sugar.
I guess I'm not a sugar person.
But if you're going to be a sugar person, why not get it in some kind of concoction like cotton candy?
I'd rather get it in a Starburst or a Skittle.
You know what the profit margin is on cotton candy?
Not sure.
Gargantuan.
This is a story about a guy that drove by somebody's house for 3 years every day and threw a McDonald's coffee cup in his yard. Every day he'd drive by at some point in the morning, have his McDonald's coffee cup, finish his coffee, throw it in the guy's yard, and keep driving.
Did he not like this person?
Yeah, they were nemesis. We'll get to that in a
Nemesis?
second. Yeah, they were nemesis.
They were superheroes.
Yes, they
Neighbors.
were superheroes.
So it's like The Incredibles. I know
3
that's a reference
years.
that's lost on you.
Same vehicle. I just actually watched Superforce, or whatever it was called. Thunder Force? Thunder Force. With Melissa McCarthy.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's on Netflix. But it's rated R, so your kids can't watch it, because they swear in it. But it's funny. But anyways, his nemesis. They worked for competing companies, and they didn't like each other. I think they did sales. So it would be like if, now that you're, selling some of the radio advertising, and then the guys from across the street, and you'd always run into each other, and you're always trying to get the same client.
Me and Randy?
You and Randy, yeah. Anyways, you and Randy, yeah. And every day Randy drove by your house and he threw a McDonald's cup in your yard.
I wouldn't put it past him, man.
And every once in a while there'd be a cigarette butt in there. This guy's name was Edward Patton. He's 80 years old. He did not like... I'm sorry. Was Edward the bad guy, or is he the good guy in this? Edwin Patton, 80-year-old, set up cameras. Oh no, Edward's the victim here. He had to set up cameras.
He's 80 and he's still doing sales. This is why you don't get a career in sales.
They used to a long time ago. Okay. Edward set up cameras outside his house. He got binoculars. He tried to do stakeouts. Everything he could do. He could never get the license plate. All he knew is that it was a white SUV. And then finally, he told the neighbors about it. They did a neighborhood watch. They got 76-year-old Larry Pope. They used to work at Fisher Bus Service in Hamburg back in the day, and they were nemesis because they used to work for these competing companies.
So that's interesting because this is Grumpier Old Men, and the next line of sequels in Grumpy Old Men, right? I mean, this is
right. Every day for 3 years through a McDonald's.
Which are underrated movies. Those Grumpy Old Men movies are great.
How many weeks, days, months, years would it take of you picking up the same piece of trash in your yard that you knew somebody threw in there before you would just lose your damn mind and you would start spending money on security cameras, neighborhood watches, stakeouts, staying home from work at times with binoculars, waiting for this to happen?
I could have some staying power on that. I could,
Would it take a week of the same trash? For me, it'd probably take a couple months. After about 3 months, I'd be like, all right, this sucker's going down.
3 months would definitely do it. Probably a month, to be honest with you. So I guess I don't have the staying power on it.
The neighborhood watch worked out. All the money spent on cameras didn't. But the neighbors saw the license plate. They wrote it down. They called the cops. And the cops went and arrested 76-year-old Larry Pope. They charged him with second-degree harassment and disposing trash on a highway. Have you ever had anybody that had a grudge against you?
Not that
Have you ever had a
of.
nemesis?
Not that I know of.
I had a nemesis in community college. His name was Charlie Harger.
Oh, God.
Charlie hated me. I don't even know why.
He was jealous.
I think he was jealous.
Got a lot of Jeff time. Charlie's a guy I used to do a show with.
Jeff and I started doing a show.
Charlie convinced me he was going to be the next Howard Stern.
I got a job.
He tried to convince me he was going to be the next Howard Stern.
It took me away from the show for a while, and then Jeff went and worked with Charlie, and then I came back, and Charlie was cast aside, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember how it went down.
No, Charlie was going to be a boss of the fictitious, or not fictitious. It was a real radio station, but it was only
program director,
250 watts. And he was going to be the boss.
Oh, so he couldn't do the show with you anymore?
And then, he wanted to pursue some TV stuff, so he got all the moles burned off of his face. And
he had a lot of moles.
Yeah. And so he got all the moles burned off of his face because he wanted to be on camera. But still, Charlie was not that good looking of a guy.
No,
and
very, very scary eyebrows.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I never got a good look at him.
I've seen him on TV before. I mean, I've seen him on Facebook, not on TV.
Okay.
Anyways,
I was going to say, TV station shouldn't be putting him on the camera.
He was my nemesis.
He was your nemesis. Why?
I don't know.
What did he do?
He would accuse me of doing things like hide his headphones and sabotage.
Did
and
you hide his headphones?
No, I don't know. I didn't care about him. Anyways, congratulations to Larry. I mean, you got away with it for 3 years, but every day for 3 years, you think you would have kind of got a little bit smarter and decided maybe to move on, that you'd done your deed, but you stayed too long. And now you're maybe going to go to jail for second-degree harassment. Congratulations, Larry Pope. You are Jeff and Jeremy's
Dumbass of the Day.
93.3 KZOZ.
Don't be a dummy when it comes to your landscape supplies. Go to Peterson U-Cart on Gusta Road, just north of Quickie Car Wash in Atascadero.
We load, U-Cart, you save.
We're online at KZOZ.com. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning online. Find us there. You can also get us on the podcast, Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. And, of course, you can call or text the program anytime, 805-543-3693. We kind of touched upon it a little bit, Dumbass of the Day. What are things that you really enjoyed as a kid that you really don't like now? We're going to get to that in just a few minutes. Also want to remind you.
Spinning rides.
Oh, gosh. Gravitron.
Any ride.
Remember the Gravitron?
Oh. Any ride at the California Mid-State Fair. All you do is spin around. That's it, except for the slides. I like those. besides that, it's all spinning. Spinning. And my kids want to get the bracelet and go on them all day long. And my gosh, like the smallest kid rides that spin around make me sick to my stomach, man. I can't spin around anymore.
Peanut butter and chocolate sandwiches. One of my favorite things to eat as a kid. I would never do that today. We're talking about things that you loved as a kid that you don't anymore. It's funny because I think most things as a kid you didn't like and now you like them as an adult. But cotton candy for me would be that. Also the candy corn. I don't like the candy corn.
When I got meningitis as a kid, I was into two things, and both of them were raspberry flavored. And I was like, whoa, I just discovered them. One was the candy Swedish raspberries, which are kind of like Swedish fish, but
yes, I remember them.
They're very similar in flavor, just a different texture. That's all they are. And then, what is it called? It was Lipton Brisk Raspberry Iced Tea.
Okay.
In the can. Loved both those things. Had them all summer long. And then towards the end of the summer, I got meningitis, and then I was throwing up. And what I was throwing up was the Swedish fish or the Swedish raspberries and the iced tea, both raspberry flavored. As a result, I can't stand raspberries or anything raspberry flavored to this day.
Yeah. Oh, really? So what about raspberry jam? Like a true raspberry flavor? You ever try that?
I could at least stomach it, but I am not going to seek it out. I'll pick out strawberry, grape, anything else before I have raspberry. Now, if raspberry is the only thing you have on hand, I'm okay with it, except for the seeds. I'm not big on the seeds because they get stuck in your teeth. But besides that, yeah, anything raspberry. Listen. I don't seek out raspberry anymore. I used to love raspberries when I was a kid. Can't stand them now as a result of getting meningitis before 9th grade. Oh, that was terrible. A lot of throwing up raspberry flavored stuff. And it was all fake raspberry flavored stuff, right? That's just raspberry flavor.
That sucks. I love the Swedish fish. And then the little raspberries, I think I know exactly what you're talking about because they're like gummy. And
they're called Swedish berries, yeah.
Yeah, I love those things.
They're essentially Swedish fish, just a different shape. It's kind of like gummy worms and gummy bears. They're a different shape.
805-543-3693. What did you love as a kid, but you can't stand it now? Doesn't have to be food either. Maybe it was something you used to do.
Karate Kid Part 2.
Rambo First Blood Part 2. I thought that was the greatest movie ever. I told everybody that was my favorite movie for a decade at least. I watched that not too long ago, or 15 minutes ago. This is terrible. 805-543-3693. This is also over on Facebook. Check it out. We're on there. And Instagram and Twitter at Jeff and Jeremy.
Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Jeff and Jeremy here. The podcast is Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. You can get it subscribed right into your device. Google, Spotify, of course, Apple, and all the other big players, and the small ones too. Just search out Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
I was in Los Osos yesterday, and I noticed one thing where there's an abundance of in Los Osos, and it only applies to Los Osos. It only works in Los Osos. Maybe Morro Bay too, because of where it's juxtaposed. But this is the only trend. That's the only place I see.
Oh, is it people walking around barefoot?
No, it's not people walking around barefoot.
Or is that more Baywood?
It is the only thing I see. I mean, this is the only place I see it, I should say.
Like Los Osos, maybe Morro Bay?
Yeah, maybe a little bit Morro Bay. I don't know. I wasn't in Morro Bay, but I could see it working in Morro Bay.
Okay, but definitely in Los Osos.
And that's because of the age of the community. It's something that I bet you, I worry about people that work in this profession because I don't know if they're going to be gainfully employed beyond the next 10 to 15 years because of who it appeals to.
Okay, so we're talking about something that it happens in Los Osos.
Only works in Los Osos.
Could happen. What about Baywood?
Only place I see it. Yes, there.
Of course.
I
want to make sure Baywood gets their shot.
I lump them together. In fact, probably more so Baywood.
I haven't been out there in a long time.
More Baywood than anything else.
There's a couple of great little spots out there to go hang out. It's a good Mexican place out there. There's another good restaurant out there, and there's some kind of like brewery company out there or bar. I forget. I'm sorry.
Get to Baywood. See if you.
It is all in Baywood.
What I noticed. Per capita, in the state of California, there has got to be the highest concentration of stained glass in Los Osos and Baywood Park.
Really? I've never noticed.
It's got to have the highest concentration
Really?
of stained glass. Every window not everyone, but that's an embellishment, but
Was there a stained glass guy out in Los
I don't
Osos?
know.
And when they were building the houses, they were just putting stained glass in everything?
because a lot of the stained glass is like hung up in an existing window. Like the stained glass art is put up in a window. You know, put the
You know who
suction
might
cups
know
on.
something about that is our buddy Steve, because he used to live out there. He goes out there a lot.
What is the deal with stained glass in Los Osos? Why is there so much of it? Why does it not exist everywhere else on the Central Coast? Like, can you tell me another place that has a lot of stained glass?
I can't. And as a matter of fact, I don't know. Let's just call him real quick and see if he'll answer the phone, because he might know. Because any time that I go to Los Osos, 9 out of 10 times, it's because this dude. I screwed it up. I can't talk and dial at the same time. It's because this guy asked me to go out there. And it's always a good time. The people out there are
You
great.
have to put a jacket on.
The people out there are very great, though.
A knit hat.
This is the Google Assistant. Can
No.
I ask what you're calling about?
I want to talk to my friend.
About stained glass in Los Osos.
All right, hang on while I try to reach them.
What is this? What is
Google
this?
Assistant. I
I've
don't
never
know.
heard of this.
Me neither. I like it, though.
Can I get this?
Like, what are you trying to talk to me about?
What is this?
Would you answer a call if a robotic voice came on that call and said, your friend would like to talk to you about stained glass in Los Osos?
Yes, I would have to answer that call.
Hello? With a question mark.
Didn't get a hold of them. If there's anything else you'd like to let them know, go ahead and do so after the tone.
Oh my
Whoa,
god.
why did you take crap?
Hey,
out of this?
dude, I hope you're doing well. We wanted to talk to you about stained glass in Los Osos, but
It was nice talking to your assistant, though.
Yeah, that's cool that you have an assistant now. It's kind of big time. Maybe we could grab a beer soon. All right, see you later, Steve.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Oh, there he is. Dude, you have a Google Assistant? That's the coolest thing ever.
I'm just welcoming our robot overlords.
What is, like, how do you get signed up for that? Because I want that feature. I want to have somebody screen my phone calls for me.
Oh, it's fantastic. I don't know. It came with my phone. I have a Pixel, so maybe it's just.
Oh, he has a Droid. See, you have a Droid. You
Well,
can
no,
do it.
he's got the Google phone.
Oh, he's got the
a
Google
Pixel.
phone.
He's got a
Oh.
Pixel, so it's like probably. So, what were you given? What information were you given about our phone call?
I was given no information about our phone call.
Okay, because it asked us, what do you want to talk to them about? And we wanted to.
Oh, no. What happens is like a little screen comes up. So as you're saying it, it's like dictating what you're saying.
So what did it say on that screen?
Did it get it
Something
right?
Hold on, let's see if it shows me again. I think it turns off. It's something about like a glass window or.
Yes. Okay, so Jeff said, hey, I don't know if you've noticed this, but every time I go out to Los Osos, there's got to be more stained glass windows in Los Osos than there is anywhere else. I said, well, God, then we got to call the guy that I know that used to live in Los Osos, and every time he wants to go get a beer, he wants to go to Los Osos, and so I figured we'd call you.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. Los Osos is full of stained glass windows.
Why?
Do you know what this is about?
Is there like a guy that just kills it out there in some carport, just staining glass all day long?
That all the houses out in Los Osos were Mickey Mouse back in the day.
Uh-huh.
You know? So
Yeah, right.
You have non-conforming, and everybody's windows are different shapes and everything. So you can't just go to the hardware store and buy a window. Basically, you got to make your own. And the people of Los Osos, I call them Los Oceans. Mm-hmm. They are very good at scrounging and taking care of themselves and establishing stained glass professions out there, I suppose.
Right.
But it's to fit those random sized windows.
Los Oceans. I like that. And by the way, what was that place that you that we went day drinking at, that bar, whatever it was called? Remember that out there?
Oh,
we sat on the deck.
Is even still open?
Oh.
What was the name of that place? It was.
I don't know. It was something, and then it would change to something else. And
it was in Baywood, actually.
It was in Baywood, yeah.
Baywood Brew House.
Yeah, Baywood Brew House. Yeah, I like that place. Anyways,
I'm
going to be seeing.
I do like to get out there.
I haven't seen Steve in a while, and we're gonna hang out here in a couple weeks. We're gonna go camping with some buddies.
We are.
I'm excited about this.
We're gonna buddy up. Use the buddy system on the lake.
Are you guys going to bring stained glass?
They're also really good at glass blowing. I just want to point that out as well.
Well, yeah, wherever the stained glass is, that's where the glass blowers are.
Is that right?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Of course, because it's like a gateway drug.
You need sand to make glass, and there's plenty of sand out there.
Maybe that's why the stained glass is so
Los
big out there.
Osos
Because of the plentiful amount of silica.
If they're known for stained glass in Los Osos Baywood, I mean, what does it mean? What does that say about what Paso's known for wine, right? And what's Atascadero known for? I mean, what's Templeton known for? The feed? Is Templeton known for the feed store?
I'd have to ask Jeff. I mean, he lives there.
I mean, does every little town on the Central Coast kind of known for something?
Like you can't.
But it's not really talked about.
You could not put a grain elevator in Los Osos and have it work. Just like you can't put stained glass in Templeton and have it work.
That's a good point. All right, Steve, thanks for taking our call. Thank your Google Assistant for patching us through.
We appreciate it.
Anytime, boys. Anytime.
We'll talk to you soon, buddy. Can't wait to have a beer.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
There you go. There you have it. Confirmation that only stained glass works in Los Osos. I think it works in Los Osos. I think it works in Morro Bay, and I think it works in Cayucas. That is the
Cambria.
That is.
I would go one step further.
God, yes.
Yeah. I would go to Cambria with some stained glass.
So any North Coast cities, they can pull off stained glass. Anything outside of that area, no.
Gosh, now you
big
think about it.
A hard no on stained glass.
I think Hearst was a stained glass guy. I'm pretty sure there was some stained glass up in that castle.
Really?
I want to say,
was that
I've been on a few
technology that
tours.
existed then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to look up stained glass at the Hearst.
The history of stained glass probably goes way back, but I bet you there's some stained glass there. I want to say I remember seeing stained glass there.
What is the one thing that only works in your town that would not work anywhere else? Stained glass, we've got that figured out. That's Los Osos, that's Morro Bay, and Cayucas, and Cambria. So I guess it works in 4 towns, but really 4 towns with the same attitude.
805-543-3693. You can call or text on those lines. Brought to you by 805 Beer. Live the 805 lifestyle. Go to 805beer.com.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.